lay back, but at the same time, I also try to discipline myself to set a target to what I can achieve on that day. Because working from home, nobody sees you. Anybody calls you, unless you are on video calls or Zoom, otherwise nobody knows exactly whether you are really working on the laptop.
As an individual, if we set a boundary, right, like working at 9 to 6, then I think it's a very healthy working environment to work at home, right? If, let's say, if we work at home and then we don't know like the boundaries and then we work like 24 hours, because it's very easy to like overwork when we work from home. So it depends on the individual itself. I prefer to work from home because to me it is more productive in terms of commuting, because I live in Puchong and it's very, very jam in the morning, and especially in the morning and in the evening when we go back. So yeah, I think we save a lot of time commuting if we work from home.
Currently, right now, the government has allowed some kind of allowed people to ask their HR, right, to decide whether they want to do like a work from home completely, work from office, or even a hybrid, you know. But if you, let's say you work as the person who decides on a national policy, what would it be? How would you implement it, or what do you want to implement?
If I'm the policy maker, I would encourage a hybrid model. Because sometimes when you don't have really very important face-to-face meeting, working from home is fine. So it all depends on the importance of that day's work, and also the leniency where certain days we can just do it from home.
Do you agree?
Yes, I agree very much. Yeah, we actually don't necessarily to go to work every day. To office, right? Because since we can do the same task at home, why do we need to go to the office? Unless if a physical meeting is required, right? Like physical discussion, right? Yeah, so that's what I believe in.
Actually, the pandemic has changed the environment quite a fair bit, where a lot of business, they have to accept going online, whether working or doing trading or whatsoever. So I think employers has got to look into the area where they have to expand their budget for more effective infrastructure for the staff. You need infrastructure in order to work effectively on the online. Co-working space is also good. I think after the pandemic, only people start explore into this, especially for employers, because one thing is co-working space provide us the flexibility whereby if I only need a certain space and I can budget a fixed budget for that, and everything is well taken care of. There's one thing good about co-working space, and co-working space in some area can compensate what is missing working in an actual office, because in office you have the interaction of colleagues, where you see people, because people are interdependent. You cannot be working at home all the while. You get a little bit because human beings just cannot be alone for too long the spell. So co-working space gives us this flexibility at a reduced cost, because everything is well taken care of. If we just got to pay the amount that is charged by the co-working space.
Making it flexible for the employees to choose whether they want to work from home or work from office, right? Depends on their productivity level and performance wise. Yeah, I think that's I would appreciate that from my employer if they allow me to choose. And then apart from that, maybe they provide company laptops, right? And maybe strong Wi-Fi packages to work from home, like all those important necessary stuff for an employee to work from home more efficiently, I would say.
And this is what Elaine's saying, right? That infrastructure needs to be provided, right? Because I was looking at during the pandemic, there were some companies that actually sent chairs to their employees, and I thought that was amazing because that was very much needed. You spend a lot of hours sitting.
Like laptop, I think a better laptop with more high range features. And I think also one important thing is, like, if you are working from home, you need to have a small little office setup, because no matter what online, certain things you still need to print out. So I think the employer should provide a small printer for the employees, so that as and when they need to print anything, they don't have to go out just to print out some documents. Because I know we experienced that.
Maybe I would negotiate and explain to them the pros and cons, provided that I provide them with my performance report to show them that although I work from home, I'm still productive and I can deliver projects in a timely manner. So if I have that proof, then I can actually negotiate and tell them why I prefer to work from home. But if they ask me to work from office because of important projects or meeting discussion, then I'm okay with that. I think it's good to have meetings, not a daily meeting. It depends on the nature of the job as well too. Like a week, 2 meetings a week, right, to catch up and so on. And then in terms of infrastructure, laptops, a high computing power laptops, and a mini setup of office, like Millie mentioned.
First of all, definitely I'll look for an employee who has got a high self-discipline, because work from home really requires a lot of discipline. I'll be looking for an employee who is honest and lots of transparency. I don't mind if you say that, I need to be away from what time to what time to get things done, personal things, that's fine, as long as you make up for the productivity. So I would rather the employee to tell me the truth rather than telling me that it's working, but maybe going to do Grab. I mean, I've heard cases of that before. Go out for their own personal reasons. So I think there should be a lot of trust, and to gain that trust, the employee should be honest and transparent with the employer. Whether happy or not, I think that's no longer in the vocabulary, because people are just tired and accepted that this pandemic is not a deadly thing, So people can handle the situation much better. People are more well prepared in that sense, I think. So it all boils down to preparedness. Once you are prepared, should it come again, I think it's fine for a lot of people, a lot of businesses. If you are working in an office, not only you are by yourself, you have your colleagues of your same level, you have got your superior, you have got big bosses, especially if you work in a big office, you have got many units. All right, you have got HR, you have got marketing, you have got technical, whatever it is. So if a youngster who started their working life from home, they don't have the exposure. How do I deal with when there's a problem? Probably that problem is not from her department or his department, it's from my department. How am I going to talk to that department to resolve it? So the lack of the exposure, therefore the lack of that skill, soft skill. So because soft skill, you can't learn it in university. It's only through interacting with people, consistently, then you acquire, you know. So, and also the language. I noticed because they use a lot of short forms in their wherever. So when it comes to actual writing skill, they are pretty much like they use a lot of colloquial English instead of proper written English. So
No punctuation.
correct. The spacing, the referencing, because it's like this. The more you see the papers, the documents, the more you are accustomed to, you learn. So if you don't go to an office environment, you'll be lacking in all those.
That's right.
So I noticed that. That's why I've got a big bunch of things where the youngsters they need to have an opportunity to learn. That's where they are lacking if they don't go to the office. So the hybrid will be just fine to train, and the youngsters have the learning ground where they can pick up things like this. Because as you grow up the corporate ladder, you still need to have that skill to talk professionally, especially when you're out there to give a speech, or when you write, you still have to write proper, grammatically correct English.